Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals presented by CHI Memorial. Two longtime Hamilton County rivals square off tonight in East Ridge as the Pioneers welcome in the Purple Pounders from Chattanooga Central. Hello, everybody. Alongside Scott McMahon, Mackenzie Johnson, I'm Chris Goforth. Glad to have you with us tonight. Scott, we get two teams. They've played each other a lot over the years. They know each other very well. But it's also two teams that are looking for some consistency tonight on offense and two teams that really want to run the football down. What is going to be different is how each team will try to achieve that.
Right. So for East Ridge, they come in with King Knox, and he is the fourth leading rusher in the city of Chattanooga coming in this week. So he's kind of been their bell cow, but another guy, Harry Strickland, can help them out run the football as well. But when you look at Central, they're still trying to replace the injured Nakarius Cheaton, who got hurt in that first game we had and is out for the season with a foot injury. So who do you replace him with? Daniel Elvey, who's a big guy that can really run it, or maybe an Amarian Jenkins, another guy that can help out. We'll find out tonight. Central needs to find their identity from running the football.
Let's check in with Mackenzie Johnson down on the field. She's got tonight's CHI Memorial Keys to the Game.
Thanks, Chris. And let's take a look at what each team needs to do to win the game. For the home team, East Ridge wants to take care of the football. They want to execute the game plan, and they want to play with effort. For the away team, Central wants to block on offense. They want to have better fundamental on defense and win the turnover battle.
All right, thank you very much, Mackenzie. Stay with us. We've got our Aspire Dermatology kickoff. We'll also have a look at our coin toss when we return. It's Central and East Ridge, the Purple Pounders and the Pioneers. When we return, Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals presented by CHI Memorial. Welcome back to East Ridge. It's the Pioneers and the Purple Pounders tonight on Dr. Pepper. Friday Night Rivals presented by CHI Memorial. Tonight and all season, the Tennessee Army National Guard will join us for the coin toss. We'll visit with them coming up later on in the show. There you see the captains meeting at midfield for tonight's coin toss, and we'll find out who gets the football first. It looks like Central has won the toss. They have elected to defer, so we'll see the East Ridge offense first. And Quake, East Ridge a season ago, they went 1-9, but they did manage to score 54 points over their final two games. Gave them some encouragement going into this year. It's a 3-1 start now for the Pioneers. But as their head coach, Chad Barger, told us this week, he goes, look, two of those three, we didn't play very well. It was a one-score game against Howard and a one-point win over Brainerd.
Right. And that's the thing. They got some of that momentum like you talked about at the end of last year. And this year they've had a nice schedule, which has allowed them to play some teams that they should win, but it hadn't been like all this perfect execution. So they're still trying to find themselves. Their quarterback, East Ridge quarterback DeMarcus Scruggs, he is a senior and is a really good runner, 2-year starter, so he kind of leads the charge. But as we mentioned, King Knox and Harry Strickland and D'Angelo Bloodsaw have really got to get it going in that wing T backfield to establish the run game and just try and enforce their will on the Pounders.
Looking forward to seeing Marshawn Usher get the ball in his hands some. He may be as good of an athlete as we're going to see. Triple jumped 42 feet in the spring.
Man, wow. And he's only 5'9", 145. So another senior that can give some, spell some of the running backs for a little bit of rest and also put up some numbers very quick and, like Chris just said, super athletic.
Second time this year seeing Chattanooga Central on Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals. We were there week 1 for a 29-0 loss to Signal Mountain. They come in at 0-4, and Scott, this is an offense that's only been able to score 2 touchdowns through 4 games.
Yeah, they've been frustrated all season long, especially after what they accomplished last year. Lost some really good key players and just haven't been able to bounce back. But I'm going to tell you folks out there, watch for number 23, MJ Bell. He's a defensive end, and he wreaks havoc. He is a problem. Trust me, we saw him just kind of dominate at times. He from his defensive end position. Tank Stewart is a linebacker for Central that can really get some things done, a senior, just a physical type of guy. So those two are going to have to lead them on defense. Now they've got, like we mentioned, Daniel Elvey, who's also a defensive end but also plays running back.
And he's also the kicker.
So he does a little bit of everything. Who can help Central try and win this football game tonight will be interesting.
Daniel Elvey will be the one to kick it off for the Pounders as we are set to get underway. This is not a region matchup. We'll talk a little more about region play coming up as we go through this evening. The Aspire Dermatology kickoff. And it's an end-over-end kick taken by Browner in the middle of the field. And Browner will pick his way out across the 35-yard line. Good starting field position for this East Ridge offense. Again, the Pounders come in. As you get a look at their Hep Cooling starting lineup, DeMarcus Scruggs is the quarterback. Good baseball player. Cam Hollis, the 6'1" sophomore wide receiver, they are very excited about him and what he can bring and what the future looks like. They've had some injuries along the offensive line. Shelton Young, that left guard, in his first year of playing football. It is a wing T formation, and they'll hand it off to start things. It's Knox King. And King will pick up about 4 yards as he gets to the 40-yard line. Scott, I couldn't help but chuckle a little bit this week in talking with the head coach at Central in Glenn Carter. And as you get a look at that Chattanooga Central defense in your Help Cooling starting lineups, we brought up the fact that, hey, what's different now as opposed to week 1 going against Signal Mountain? He goes, well, we got another wing T team, and it's all misdirection, and we're not real excited about having to face that again.
And that's why the wing T is so tough still in high school, is because to defend it, you've got to be super disciplined, and a lot of guys just, it's hard for them to do that for 48 minutes.
Here goes Knox King again to the far side, and a great penetration into the backfield. That was a linebacker in Tank Stewart.
Guy I just mentioned a minute ago, Tank Stewart can get it done. He's super physical, a downhill punisher is the way Glenn Carter, their head coach, described him. He'll take another look. Watch 5, get penetration quick into the backfield, and he shuts down King Knox immediately.
This is a Central squad that lost last week to Walker Valley 49-0. These linebackers, though, Stewart, Zach Myrie, an outstanding pair for Chattanooga Central. On third down, they go out of the gun. Here's the snap back and the screen to the near side. It is complete, and he is wrapped up immediately as the 36-yard line. Jamari Jones made the reception.
Zach Myrie with the quick defensive stop. You see Myrie just land with a bad attitude. Gets him on the ground with a gain of nothing. Brings up 4th down and long, and looks like the Pioneers go into punt formation.
Well, and Myrie, a kid that a year ago was playing some safety due to injuries. He's had to join that linebacking core along with Tank Stewart. Cam Hollis will be the one to punt it away. Javarion Page back deep for Central for a chance to return it. Spiraling kick, fair catch called for, and it will roll inside the 30, and that's where it's down at the 28-yard line. So East Ridge goes 3 and out on their opening possession. Central takes over starting at their 28-yard line. Here's a look at your starting lineup for Chattanooga Central. Again, this team coming off a 49-0 loss to Walker Valley. And, Scott, if nothing else, they're just trying to get healthy out on Highway 58.
Right.
8 starters out last week. You mentioned in the open about Nakarius Cheaton going down with an injury back in week 1. They also lost Tevin Jackson back in the preseason. So you're talking about 2 guys that you thought were going to be big-time players for you offensively that you're now without. And it's Elvey that takes the handoff, and he just runs right into a mass of blue jerseys before he is wrapped up and is pulled down. There's a look at the starting defense for East Ridge. They've made the switch to the 3-3 stack, and that group of linebackers is a good group. Strickland, Bloodsaw, and Strickland across that linebacking core with Jones and Moore, kind of those edge rushers from the outside.
And with the 2 outside linebackers, they kind of rotate with the safeties. It's a very unique defense.
On the rollout, looking downfield is Varnell, has a man open, making the catch and stepping out of bounds for the first down. It was Brian Harris.
Brian Harris got in behind the defense. You'll see it here on the replay. And, of course, Varnell keeps the eyes downfield, finds him in behind the defense right there on the sideline for a nice pitch and catch for the first down.
Landon Varnell, a transfer to Central from nearby Ottawa. Catcher and shortstop on the baseball team. Here's Elvey, and the ball is on the ground.
Pioneers got it.
East Ridge will come up with it. It was Jordan Woods.
Jordan Woods, a hoopster. He plays some basketball. You can see him, number 11 there, long, rangy, got the long arms, gets off blocks quickly, and he was just Johnny on the spot when Elvey coughed it up for the fumble. East Ridge now in fantastic field position on the central side of the football.
Well, let's see what East Ridge can do with it. Again, we go back to their struggles throughout this season. That game against Howard, they won by a point. They had a lot of penalties, 4 trips inside the Dr. Pepper maroon zone that night, Scott, and only 1 score to show for it.
This is the time of year where you've got to clean up stuff. You've got to clean up stuff if you want to win a game.
And take over. And the 34, and here goes Knox King. He's got a first down and more. King may take it to the house.
He does.
Touchdown.
Wow, that shows the explosiveness of Knox King. A Food City touchdown. He comes in, the 4th leading rusher in the city. Coming into the game, 85 carries, 458 yards, 4 TDs. Now make it 5 TDs, Mama. And he's averaging just a shade under 5.5 yards per carry. That'll add to that. Boy, some explosive speed for the junior. Oh, they're saying he was out of bounds. Okay, so he stepped out of bounds at about the 16, 28-yard line.
That's the 18-yard line.
18-yard line, I got you. But it is in the Dr. Pepper maroon zone.
They go right back to him on the ground, slips through an arm tackle on his feet, and he'll get down to about the 10.
Stop made by Sherrod Faust. You'll see that, but not after King picks up some yards. There's Faust cleaning it up.
And how about the play of King?
He's explosive, and again, just a junior.
Has great balance, sees the field well. He's on the right hip of Scruggs again out of that pistol formation. And once again, it's King looking for a hole, spinning his way down. He'll pick up about 5 yards, maybe 4, give him the 6-yard line.
Another nice carry. Carter Smith on the tackle. Smith, a freshman. He picks up some nice yardage, probably 3-4 yards, and now 3rd and 1. Again, right inside the Inside the 10-yard line, looking about the 6-yard line.
Clock approaching 7.5 to go in this first quarter. East Ridge trying to cash in on the Central turnover. And here goes Knox King, and he is blasted in the hole.
Guess who? Tank Stewart once again. If it's a vicious, violent tackle, it's going to be either Tank Stewart or M.J. Bell out of his defensive end position. But there's Tank Stewart, senior. Really just a hard-nosed football player. 5'9", 225. Bang! I mean, brings the wood.
Not before, though. King can pick up the first down. So Pioneers set up now with a first down and goal to go inside the Dr. Pepper maroon zone from the 6.
CHI Memorial first down. Gives them a chance to kind of calm down and say, okay, let's take, if it takes 4 to get in there, let's do it.
We'll see Scruggs come up under center. And here's the give, and he is stuffed into the backfield almost immediately. Was Harley Strickland that took the handoff, and he was met in the backfield.
Met in the backfield quickly.
Second and goal.
Carter
again,
Smith.
yeah. Carter Smith was there. M.J. Bell in to finish him off. So it's second down and goal. The ball goes back to about the 9-yard line now. Once again, Scruggs comes up under center. There's the toss. King sweeping to the corner, and King will get in. Touchdown.
There's his 5th touchdown of the year, or maybe not.
There's a penalty flag that has come out, so this may be coming back. Hold on a second.
Food City touchdown, but looks like it could be a hold. We'll let the referee tell us what it is. That's indeed what it is. On 55, John Bailey, their right tackle. Just a sophomore, so a young mistake there.
Now you go back to that 8-0 win over Howard. East Ridge had a ton of penalties in that game. 4 trips inside the 20, and they managed just 1 score. Well, head coach Chad Barger and his squad looking for that consistency on offense. 6th play of this drive coming up. They took over following the Central fumble at the Purple Pounder 34. And here goes King. And once again, he is wrapped up immediately. It's Carter Smith who is having himself a heck of a night so far. M.J. Bell in there as well.
Carter Smith, man, we've called his name a bunch. Like I said, a 9th grader. He is playing well early here in this game. Nice athletic play by DeMarcus Scruggs to keep it, be able to snag the ball. Is a little high on the snap, so you get a little time.
Timeout asked for by East Ridge. Pioneers want to talk it over. 5:28 remaining in the first. We'll step aside. Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals presented by CHI Memorial. East Ridge looking to capitalize on a Chattanooga Central turnover. Pioneers Take a timeout to talk it over. Make sure you stick around for a halftime report presented by Big Woody's Tree Service. We'll have this week's Scholar Athlete as well as a look at some first half highlights. From inside the 20-yard line, off the timeout. Scruggs on the rollout. He's looking to keep it, and he'll be thrown out of bounds back outside of the 20, so they move outside of the red zone now, Scott.
You get that holding penalty, knocks it back 15, and then, of course, that play sniffed out pretty quickly, but the Central defense just never really developed into anything.
So you had the long run by Knox that was called back. We thought it wasn't called back. He ended up stepping out of bounds.
Right.
So
then
that
the other
took
one
a
was
score.
called back.
Then you did have the run for the touchdown that was called back, and now you're East Ridge faced with a 4th down and goal to go from the 22-yard line.
The frustration Chad Barger and the entire squad is feeling on this drive. I mean, they were so close a couple times.
Scruggs out of the pistol. Feels pressure, steps up. He is in trouble, and he will lateral the ball to one of his offensive linemen.
Tyler Madden, the center.
Tyler Madden, who's a returning starter. Let me have a carry.
Madden's 5'10", 245, so he's like the old school bowling ball fullback, from back in the day.
You get a look at it on our help cooling replay. You see the pressure from Scruggs and nowhere to go. Amarion Jenkins just grabs him by the waist and tosses him to the ground. So I go back to what you and I talked about in the open. A couple of teams here, they want to run the football. They're going to look a little different in how they choose to do it, but that's what both of these teams want to do, and right now neither team really doing it well.
Right, especially mistake-free. Holding on that the touchdown run. Just got to clean it up. Like I said, it's week 5 at this point in time.
And Varnell will hand it off to Jenkins. And Jenkins, he gets thrown for a loss back at the 21-yard line.
Harley Strickland out of his inside linebacker spot. Harley's the sophomore. His older brother, Harry, is the senior. Both of them physical linebacks for East Ridge. Harley, and you'll see him right here come up and make that tackle, get him on the ground. 5'10", 165. Very competitive, especially when it comes to drills against his brother. Coach Barger was laughing about that, how competitive both of them are.
Varnell on the rollout. Looking downfield, tries to drop it off short, and it's incomplete. He was going for Myrie. And that brings up now a 3rd down and 12. The Strickland brothers we'll talk a lot about because I think it's a great story with those two. And you kind of mentioned the age difference between them, but Scott, look, you talk about guys that are just really good high school football players. That's what the Strickland brothers are. Harry and Harley both really good high school football players. Really
good to the point where they set the tone for the defense and how East Ridge reacts defensively.
3rd down for the Pounders. Varnell will keep it. Has the 25 and caught from behind, and Varnell goes down at about the 27-yard line. And guess who's? Harley Strickland again that made the stop.
All over it, his pursuit from the backside. You had Varnell, trying to get it downfield as far as he could, but Strickland shut that down quickly coming up from behind. You'll have another look at it. Keeper. He runs to open space, but when he starts to juke right here, boom. Harley Strickland says, no, sir.
It's 4th down. Make some noise.
So Central now faced with a 4th down. Their last possession, they turned it over. East Ridge had the ball at the Purple Pounder 34. Could not get in the end zone. Here's Central to go for it. And we're going to have a timeout now that's asked for by Chattanooga Central. So each coach has asked for a timeout here in this first quarter. 3:12 remaining. We're scoreless. 4th down for Central when we return to East Ridge. After this on Dr. Pepper, Friday Night Rivals presented by CHI Memorial. It's an old-time Hamilton County rivalry. East Ridge hosting Chattanooga Central. Crisco fourth, Scott McMahon. Mackenzie Johnson with you tonight. 3:12 remaining in the first quarter, and we're scoreless. Central with a fumble on their last possession. East Ridge ran 8 plays from the 34-yard line on Central's end of the field, couldn't cash it in. And now the Pounders are faced with a 4th down. Looks like they're going to choose to punt it away. Penn and Teller fool us. And Totally Funny Animals, that's coming up tonight after the game here on the CW Chattanooga.
These two teams have played since 1959 when East Ridge High School was established. Oh, blocked!
Scooped up and score. The scoop and score by Jordan Woods.
Jordan Woods, once again, the basketball player for the Food City touchdown. Right there, perfect spot on the bounce off the block. And it is a nice return for the junior, Jordan Woods. Get another look at it. Harry Strickland, I think Harry Strickland, the older Strickland brother, was the one that got a big paw on the block punt to knock that thing down, and Woods picked it up and returned it for a touchdown.
No penalties on that, by the way, so that touchdown will stand. John Wiley out to attempt the extra point. Snap was high. Scruggs will take off with it. In trouble, reverses direction now. He's got some room. Scruggs is going to take it in for the 2-point conversion.
Wow, holy cow. Incredible. DeMarcus Scruggs was just keeping his head about him when that snap was bad and was able to reverse field. And a lot of times you'll see that pursuit over pursue, and they certainly did, to the left side of East Ridge. And then Scruggs was smart enough and athletic enough to say, bust it back the other way and walked into the end zone, essentially.
2 mistakes tonight for Central. 1, a turnover. They're able to hold the Pioneers out of the end zone, and then you get the block punt and the scoop and score by Jordan Woods. Basketball player, he didn't have to dribble it. He just took off.
Not at all. No walking in football, so that's a good thing. No traveling.
Scruggs with the 2-point conversion run, and it's 8-0 East Ridge.
Super athletic play by Harry Strickland, the linebacker who came in and blocked the punt. Just perfect timing on that punt block. The Aspire Dermatology kickoff here.
Myrie, the deepest man back, along with Carter Smith. And also Brian Harris for Central. Short squib kick taken by Daniel Elvey at the 45. And Elvey tries to cut it across the field, and he's cut down at the 46-yard line. Well, Chattanooga Central starts in pretty good field position here on their own end at the 46.
Another tackle by Harry Strickland on that return. But, yeah, Central gets some pretty decent field position. Now, what can they do with it? That's the thing. Like we said, Daniel Elvey and some of these guys trying to step up to be a guy that can be consistent with what they need in their run game to be able to open up other things. Amarion Jenkins is another guy that can give you another look, but he's kind of more of the fullback, H-back type of player for Central Purple Pounders.
And that's Jenkins, one of 2 wings to the right side. And here goes Elvey, trying to sprint to the corner, caught from behind. He's dropped for a loss back at the 45-yard line. Chasing him down was Jamari Jones.
Jamari Jones. Nice speed to get to there. He is Jamari, the junior. Nice speed, very versatile. And he just gets that speed out there to the outside when you try and bounce it out and shut it down pretty quickly. I mentioned earlier where they have the 3 inside linebackers, and they officially list the other 2 as outside linebackers, but with 3 safety-type defensive back, they rotate those 5 as far as being able to cover things and stuff like that. Oh, huge hole.
Big hole straight ahead for Amarion Jenkins as Jenkins explodes. First down yardage. He'll take it into Eastridge territory and pick up the first down. He goes to the 43-yard line.
That's the kind of stuff that Central needs to see. Positive things happening. Nice blocking by that Central offensive line. And Amarian Jenkins is a big boy that can bring the wood. And when you offensively to lay it out on defensive players, but a nice speed through the middle of the field to catch up on another first down.
And Jenkins, a former offensive lineman. Here's Myree trying for the corner, and Myree will be stopped for a loss.
Another Strickland tackle. This one of the hairy persuasion. The senior, 5'9", 155. Hits the Purple Pounder on the ground for loss.
We talked with Glenn Carter, the head coach at Central, this week about that 0-4 start. He said, look, there's been no letdown. There's been no quit. He said these kids have kept playing. He said there's absolutely nobody here that, despite an 0-4 record and the way things have looked, nobody's throwing in the towel here. It's Elvey, and Elvey is blasted in the backfield. Guess who? Harley Strickland.
No wonder Coach told us that these two set the tone for the Eastridge defense, and you're seeing why here. Harley Strickland, number 9 on that play. Harry Strickland's made a number of plays, and they just out-physical you up front, shed that block, and go straight to the ball carrier.
We saw Eastridge a year ago, and we saw both of those guys play. At that time, Harley Strickland was just a freshman getting a ton of playing time. Harry Strickland, the older brother, a senior, a 3.5-year starter. So these are two guys that they played a lot of football, not just in the backyard together, but a lot of varsity snaps. Varnell feeling pressure now, reverses field. He's in trouble,
pressure.
and Varnell will go down.
Mark Sessions was the first guy there, number 20. He's a sophomore, and he comes in 4 sacks on the year. Super quick first step, and was a linebacker, moved to defensive line. There you see number 20, Mark Sessions, with a nice play.
That's the end of the first quarter of play. It is 8-0 Eastridge on top of Central. We'll be back. Dr. Pepper, Friday Night Rivals on the CW Chattanooga, presented by CHI Memorial. Ready to get the second quarter underway. East Ridge with an 8-0 lead over Chattanooga Central. A block punt and a scoop and score for the Pioneers. It's the difference. Tonight's halftime report brought to you by Big Woody's Tree Service. We'll have a recap of the first half of action here at East Ridge. Plus, we catch up with Tennessee Army National Guard. All that is coming up later on in the show. Fourth down, Central will once again punt. Again, the last time they punted, it was blocked and East Ridge returned it for a score. King Knox back to return this kick. It's an end-over-end kick angling towards the left side. And this will be a nice pounder roll inside the 15-yard line. It's down at the 13.
So East Ridge comes out on offense, looking to do some things offensively. DeMarcus Scruggs, their quarterback.
East Ridge coached by Chad Barger, 10-25. There's a look at Coach Barger. Yep. 10-25 at East Ridge.
He was so good to us earlier in the week, just giving us some time to kind of talk about what they've got going on here at East Ridge and just explaining the different, players to us and just talking about their guys that they rely on, which, of course, the Strickland brothers were discussed a lot. And the Strickland brothers had the punt block.
Scruggs on the keeper. And Scruggs gets right at the first down sticks over on the far side.
That's a nice run by Scruggs, 6 foot, 160-pound senior.
Good baseball player, stole 17 bases for the Pioneer baseball team, and he's not sliding into second here.
No, and did a nice job jumping up to get the snap.
And that's something that East Ridge fans have not seen a lot of this year from him. They have not ran him very much, and a lot of that just has to do with depth, which is something that both coaches talked about with us this week. Here's the give. King Knox will be wrestled down. After a short gain, Carter Smith made the stop.
Smith is playing his tail off tonight, but yeah, talk about DeMarcus Scruggs. Keeping him healthy is a huge priority for them. They need to have him on the field to direct this offense if they're going to do anything, not only tonight but throughout the season. So trying to not run him, 15, 20 times a game so we don't get banged up is a huge priority for East Ridge.
It's a 3-1 start. There's a bad snap.
Uh-oh.
And Scruggs will just have to fall on it back at the 20-yard line.
Golly, on 2nd and 1, too, man. You just – so frustrating. You use so many good things and then have one bad mistake that shoots yourself in the foot.
So you go
a little
from
low, but just, couldn't find the handle.
So you go from a 2nd and 1 to what is that, 3rd and 13 now?
Yeah, pretty much. 3rd and 13, 3rd and 12. Oh.
Ball goes back to the 21-yard line. It is a 3-1 start for the Pioneers. This offense averaging 18 a game. Scruggs rolling. Being pressured now, in trouble, and Scruggs will go down. He had pressure on him almost immediately, and it was Javarion Page that he ran into.
Jaden Brownlow in there as well, but, man, he couldn't. I mean, it was almost like he was pressured as soon as he set up the throw, and you'll see it here. As soon as he sets up the throw right here, then it's I'm trying to think. Here comes somebody. Oh, no, it's too late. And Javarion Page, all in his face, gets him down for another loss.
Give a little credit to Carter Smith because it was Smith that forced him to cut back towards the middle of the field. Cam Hollis on to kick it away for the Pioneers. Second punt of the night for East Ridge. And I think Central had the block on. This will take a Pioneer bounce. Crosses the 40-yard line and down to the, looks like the 42, and that's where East Ridge will take over 1st and 10. And hold on, we've got a flag on the play. We'll sort it out when we come back. It's Central's ball when we return. East Ridge 8, Chattanooga Central nothing. 8:56 to go, second quarter. Back after this.
After the play, personal foul, number 52.
Eight 0 East Ridge leading Chattanooga Central. We had a Pioneer punt on the last possession. There was a flag on that. It was a personal foul penalty that went against East Ridge, so it tacks on 15 yards for Chattanooga Central, and they're going to start this in great field position with a 1st and 10 at the Pioneer 27-yard line. During the fourth quarter of tonight's game, we'll be highlighting the school bus stop of the game. The law in every state requires drivers to always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. Here we go with a 1st and 10, under 9 to go, first half. Central goes to Elvey. And Daniel Elvey gets to the 25-yard line and a gain of 2 on first down.
Yeah, it's Bloodsaw. I'm sorry.
Bloodsaw.
Yeah, middle linebacker D'Angelo Bloodsaw. D-Lo, 5'10", 205, senior. And Elvey had it going. Bloodsaw flies in there and makes the stop for really a gain of maybe 1 or 2 for Central. Well defended by East Ridge.
Javarian Page goes out wide to one side. The 6'2" Joel Crawford goes to the bottom of your screen. Back on the ground, it's LV. He finds some running room. He'll pinball his way down to about the 20-yard line.
Bloodsaw again in there with contact, number 8. He got some really nice yardage on that. Looks like it's going to be 3rd and 1. Here's a look at it again. LV picks up some yardage before Bloodsaw makes initial contact.
3rd and short now for Central. Pounders trying to put a drive together after a short East Ridge punt. Set them up in great field position. Varnell from the pistol, strong side to the right. There goes Elvey right into the hole, and he is again met and hit hard. Let's see where full progress will mark him.
Harry Strickland that time. I mean, it's Strickland, Bloodsaw, or Strickland. Those 3 guys. Yeah, CHI Memorial first down. So good for Central. They see something positive happen for them, and now they can just build on it. Just don't make a mistake and set yourself back 5, 10, 15 yards here in this situation, and you might be able to put it in the end zone because you're definitely in the Dr. Pepper maroon zone at this point.
From the 17-yard line. Jenkins in that H on the wing to the left side. Here's the screen thrown to the near side. It's broken up, incomplete. They were going for Crawford, and there defensively was Bentley Moore. Scott playing that outside linebacker position. You've talked about tonight kind of a hybrid outside linebacker safety.
And Bentley Moore's a freshman, so you see a nice play here by the 9th grader. Making defending the receiver, intended receiver. Freshman, but a special future is what Coach Barker told us.
I want to go back to the previous play here in just a minute. Let's talk a little bit about some size comparisons in this game and what we're seeing. We'll get to that after the 2nd down play. Here's Elvey again, and Elvey will be gang tackled at about the 15-yard line. We saw him carry it a moment ago. Daniel Elvey, 6'2½", 210 pounds. And you saw Harry Strickland bring the hammer at 5'9", 155.
Right. I mean, you got to have a special mentality. I love those undersized guys that just want to just knock you out. I mean, let's be honest. That's what they're trying to do, is just hit you as hard as they can so you remember it for 4 quarters and hope that you'll kind of back off and be gun-shy when it comes to the 4th quarter.
Another 3rd down for the Pounder offense. A low snap. Varnell looking to the end zone. Varnell throws, intercepted in the end zone. Picked off by Bentley Moore, the freshman coming through.
How about that on cue? Bentley Moore, freshman. He rotates with the safeties, as we mentioned earlier, with both their outside linebackers do. He's getting his first career start, and Bentley Moore comes up big with an interception in that start. That is fantastic play by Bentley Moore. Head up. Not the greatest throw by Landon Varnell, but Moore picks up in the end zone and makes the play for the Pioneers.
Chad Barger told us about Bentley Moore, said he will be special before he's through. Comes up with the interception. East Ridge takes over midway through the second quarter. An 8-0 lead for the Pioneers. East Ridge trying to win for the fourth time this season. 3-1 currently. Chattanooga Central looking for their first victory of the season. Scruggs from the pistol. Knox caught from behind. That was Tank Stewart, and Stewart maybe a little slow to get to his feet now after that hit.
Also, Carter Smith in on the tackle as well. Let's hope Stewart's all right. He is a huge piece of this Central defense. Yeah, you see him kind of squatting down there, just getting his bearings back, but definitely not coming out of the game. He's a tough guy. Again, 5'9", 225. He packs a punch.
Traditional wing tee look, and here's the toss to the wingback in King Knox. He's bumped out of bounds at around the 26-yard line.
Nice run and show his athleticism. I mean, he is the junior again with a really good season so far this year. Let's get another look at it. Knox collects the pitch and then does some little shiftiness, run out of bounds at the end of the play and gets close, makes it close, makes it about a 3rd and 3.
They stay in the wing tee. And here goes the give. This is Harry Strickland for the first down and more. Strickland powers out across the 40-yard line. Give him the 42 and the Pioneer first down.
Strickland shows you how physical he can run. And again, you mentioned it, not like the biggest guy in the world, 5'9", 155, but you see him once he makes contact, he does not go down easily. Hit by everybody on that Central defense, including a guy we've called his name a bunch already, and that is Carter Smith, the 9th grader. Number 13 makes the final tackle.
Out of the wing tee, again it goes to Strickland. And Harry Strickland, positive yardage, he goes to the 45. Well, both of these coaches talked this week about they want to run the football, consistency on offense. Chad Barger told us, he said, we're old school. He said, we want to run it. We want to be physical. We want to play power football and give ourselves a chance in the fourth quarter. And so far, Scott, I think that's what we're seeing is we're seeing a physical football team in East Ridge right now.
Just trying to impose their will on Central, and they've done a good job of that, even from an offensive standpoint of being super physical.
Off the play fake, here's the inside handoff, and it goes Strickland again. And the ball comes out. The fumble picked up. He's got a chance to go. Sherrod Fost out of bounds inside the 25-yard line. Mark him out at the 23 in East Ridge. Well, so much for that consistency we talked about.
I think the ball just popped out and hit Faust right in the belly. Let's take a look at it. Great misdirection play, but just could not hold on to it. And there's Faust for the and return right there. Looks like it may have been popped out, actually.
You get a look at it here again on the replay. This is from field level.
Amarion Jenkins? Okay.
Yeah, I think that was a helmet on the ball by Jenkins that caused it to go sideways. First turnover for East Ridge. Central will try to turn it into some offense. Here's Jenkins, and he is blasted.
That's Strickland.
Wow.
My goodness.
Number 7, Harry Strickland with a tackle for a loss.
And I'm not sure Jenkins knows what zip code he's in right now.
Man, I'm telling you, him and Jordan Woods, look at that. There's Strickland, there's Woods.
Second and 13.
Just collide at the ball carrier. Tackle for a loss. My gosh, now that's being physical on defense.
Jordan Woods, by the way, he of the scoop and score in this game. Strickland with the block punt, and it was Woods that scooped it up and took it to the house for the score.
Those two are playing well together right now.
3 minutes remaining in the first half. And there's motion up front.
Just a mental mistake.
This will go against East Ridge.
It's Shelton Young, their nose guard, sophomore.
Offside.
They call him Chubb Young.
Before the snap, offsides. Defense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Jay Blevins, our head referee tonight.
Second and 7.
And with Young, he's a young player, but that nose guard, we all know you're standing right there in front of the football. You can't jump. You got to watch that football be snapped before you make any kind of movement. So just a young mistake by Shelton Young.
And we've got a timeout that's asked for by Central. Second timeout of this first half by Chattanooga Central. Pounders looking to get on the board. East Ridge with an 8-0 advantage. Late in the first half, Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals presented by CHI Memorial. East Ridge with an 8-0 lead over Chattanooga Central. Chris Goforth alongside Scott McMahon. Mackenzie Johnson with you tonight. A little old school rivalry between these two going on. Central trying to cash in after recovering the East Ridge fumble. Pioneers scored on a block punt and a scoop and score. Here goes Jenkins to the left side, and he finds a lot of room. Jenkins gets to the outside. Penalty flag comes out as Jenkins is angled out of bounds just shy of the end zone.
I thought Jenkins showed some great speed on that play. It's unfortunate for the Purple Pounders. Looks like it's going to come back. But, boy, when he gets into some open field, I mean, he can run.
Holding, number 50 on the offense. 10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
That's a spot of the foul infraction, too, so. Look, I think what we have seen tonight for both of these two teams early in the year, I think tonight has just been a microcosm of the way things have gone. It's been penalties. It's been turnovers. It's been missed assignments on both sides of the ball.
Just mistakes in general.
Varnell again from the pistol. He'll hand it off. Jenkins tries to get outside, tried the stiff arm on Harley Strickland, who will fight it off and drop him.
Harley Strickland, nice play there. Number 9, shutting that down quickly. As we mentioned, Amarian Jenkins can get the ball in some space. That time they weren't going to allow him any space. And you see Jenkins frustrated on the sideline after that play and the loss. Maybe even banged up a little bit. Getting some coaching over there on the sideline brings up a 3rd and really long.
LV And LV wrapped up and dropped. Great job again from East Ridge. It was Jamari Jones, and check that, it was Eli Gooden.
Eli Gooden, the junior defensive back, makes the play. Nice fundamental tackle, wraps him up, twists him down, gets him on the turf, which Coach Barger did mention he thinks they have the best natural turf in Hamilton County, and I'm not going to argue with him after tonight. It looks great out there.
It does look great.
You know, in this day and time where everybody's trying to get the artificial turf, and I understand why, this East Ridge turf, they've taken care of it, and it looks great.
Yeah, Coach Barger had said, look, he goes, I'd kind of like to keep it. I'd like to keep the natural grass if we could. 4th down for Central. And we've got a timeout for Central. That will be the final timeout of this first half for the Purple Pounders. They stopped the clock with 64 seconds remaining in the first half. I want to say a special thanks to some of our sponsors, the folks that make these games possible. Dr. Pepper, Scott's Furniture, Big Woody's Tree Service, CHI Memorial, Food City, and the Tennessee Army National Guard. Thanks to all those folks for making it possible tonight.
You mentioned the history, and we'll probably get a little bit more in depth in the second half, but history between these two schools is really amazing because you're talking about two schools that were, you know, Hamilton County staples, really. I mean, you're going back into, obviously, the 40s, 50s, and 60s with Central. East Ridge wasn't established until 1959 as far as their football program. So this is the 54th meeting overall, and just one of those schools where, you know, we in Chattanooga always say, if you meet another Chattanoogan, well, where'd you go to high school? You know, that type of thing, not what part are you from, but where'd you go to high school? A lot of folks that I know throughout the years went to East Ridge or Central. It's just one of those Hamilton County staple public schools.
It's an empty set for Varnell. 5 wide for Central. Varnell in trouble. Varnell will go down back at the 40-yard line.
Wow.
Jordan Woods.
Yep, Jordan Woods out of his defensive end spot. The one we've been telling you is a basketball player, came out for football and really doing some great things. The junior makes a nice play. And, I mean, let's face it, Landon Varnell he couldn't find anybody open.
Hey, can we go ahead and put Jordan Woods' name on the list for player of the game tonight?
Yes, I can tell you that. Let's put both Stricklands, a Bloodsaw, and Jordan Woods on that so far for East Ridge side at least.
55 seconds remaining. Pioneers take over. Big loss on that sack. They begin at the 38-yard line, and you've got a whistle.
Tank Stewart just took his helmet off and started yelling at the Central sideline. I don't know if that was him wanting to get a time, or that's definitely going to be a penalty if they didn't call timeout first.
Well, they were out of timeouts. They just took their third a moment ago. So the officials will talk it over. And then we'll find out here. Under a minute to go in this first quarter. Stick around. Our Big Woody's Tree Service halftime report. We'll get a look at first half highlights.
Before the snap, encroachment on the defense. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Encroachment goes against Central. Ball moves up across the 40 to about the 43-yard line. As East Ridge would love to get the late score here as this first half winds down. Pass is caught, and he's got some room. It's Jamari Jones. And Jones motors across midfield, gets the first down to the 42-yard line.
That's a nice play. I think they ought to run that a little bit more here and there on both sides. But Jamari Jones, a junior, had wide open space on that right side with the screen play. Let's get another look at it. No real defender in his face, and he gets plenty of room to run.
I think in the future, Chad Barger will probably coach him to angle towards the sideline and not cut it back towards the middle of the field. They had to burn the timeout.
Run away from those defenders, not into them, right?
One timeout remaining now for the Pioneers over the final 48 seconds. They have it at the Pounder 42-yard line. And an 8-0 lead. The Eastridge offense has been held in check. It was a special teams touchdown on a block punt, scoop and score. CHI Memorial first down. Scruggs on the rollout. Scruggs will run. Gets into the middle of the field and
runs into his own guy, then the defenders get on top of him.
Picks up about 2. And Eastridge will have to take another timeout. So Pounders are out of timeout, or the Pioneers rather, are out of timeouts as well. So we've had each team has used their full complement of timeouts in this first half. 37 seconds left.
You saw 77 on the ground with him, Tyler Madden, who we talked about before. He pitched it back to him early in the game. He was trying to help Scruggs get as far as he could. Maybe picked up a yard, yard and a half.
Mention the fact that Eastridge 1-9 last year, off to a 3-1 start this year. 3 of their first 4 games on the road. They opened the season at home against Howard, and then they've had 3 straight road games before tonight against Central. Now they've got a big test coming up next week as Loudon will visit.
Yeah, and Hickson with a big win over Loudon last year. Loudon was your defending region champs. That was a huge win for Coach Nick Rivers and the Wildcats.
Spoken like a true Hickson alum.
Thank you.
Low throw and an incomplete pass.
It was, though. I mean, I did not expect that one, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Coach Barger talked this week about that, the idea of starting 3-0 and how this team had struggled in 2 of those 3. An 8-0 win over Howard and a 7-6 win against Brainerd. That was sandwiched by a 50-6 victory over Grace. They had a hard time last week with Red Bank. Scruggs going up top, taking a shot.
Hold.
And there comes the flag. That was obvious to everybody.
Hold or pass interference, whatever they call it, it's the same thing. And that's.
And there's also another flag it looks like was thrown back in the offensive backfield. So hold on. We could end up with offsetting penalties depending on what the call is. We'll wait on Judge Blevins to give us the official word.
There were 2 fouls on the play, both on the defense. Defensive pass interference, defense, that penalty is declined. Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, that penalty is accepted. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Wow, both penalties go against Central, and the roughing the passer penalty, a 15-yard mark off. And the football moves inside the 30. It goes down to the 27-yard line.
This would really be a good opportunity to put some points on the board at the end of the half, and then you're going to get the football back at the beginning of the second half. CHI Memorial first down via penalty. The Pioneers are guaranteed they'll take it every single time, regardless of how it comes.
A 4-wide look. Trips go to the top of your screen. And we've got an officials timeout. Oh. One of the officials, I believe that was our white hat, did not pick up his flag. We'll hold him in contempt of court.
The Honorable Jay Blevins.
Scruggs, quick throw over the middle, incomplete.
Just
trying to go to
too
Cam
low.
Hollis.
Yeah, trying to hit Cam Hollis, the sophomore receiver, 6'1", 170. But you're going to throw it in a position where Cam Hollis can actually catch it. That was too low and obviously behind him just a little bit. Got to lead the intended receiver as much as you can. Hollis is fairly experienced for a sophomore. Played last year as a freshman, and tough guy, huge potential, big wingspan. As we said, 6'1", really nice target for the Pioneers.
I would think maybe the game plan is to try to go back to him through the air. Under 30 seconds left in this first half. Central having to, or East Ridge rather, having to scramble to get everybody lined up. Play clock winding down. Here's the snap back, and we've got movement up front. Well, after a pretty briskly played first half, things are, this final 30 seconds, we're coming to a screeching halt.
It's ground down.
Before the play, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Mark off of the penalty. Ball goes back to the 31-yard line. And again, 26 seconds left. Scruggs will step up. Scruggs to the sideline, gets out of bounds. Clock stops with 20 seconds left.
Just nice recognition by DeMarcus Scruggs. Couldn't find anybody open downfield. Know that there's a bit of a working against the clock here, so he's smart enough to just tuck it and run and get as much as he possibly could. I guess back to the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, looking at a 3rd down and 10. They'll go with 4 wides again. That's trips to the right. Bobbled snap. Scruggs on the rollout, in trouble now. Heaves for the end zone and making the catch. Wow. What a catch! What a snag, coming down with it, Jamari Jones.
My goodness, and I think he had both guys were wide open. Not necessarily wide open, they were behind the defense for the Food City touchdown. Jamari Jones is the one that just flies over to catch the football and for the touchdown. Nice play, juggling act by Scruggs. He avoids the defender and throws it into a spot. You see Jones, but look at his teammate behind him. Like he may have had an opportunity. That's the freshman, right? He's been making some plays all night. Bentley Moore, there you go. Bentley Moore was open behind him, so pick your poison.
Extra point attempt is missed, and it's 14-0. East Ridge with the lead. Jamari Jones pulling in a touchdown pass, and how about DeMarcus Scruggs able to escape a little bit of pressure there and put it up for grabs.
Very nice, very nice. Once he bobbled the snap, he was able to avoid that defender and roll out to his right, and that, as we mentioned, that is a huge score for East Ridge right before the half. Put Central down and then get the ball back to start the second half. So just an important drive to end the first half. Now still 12 seconds left, and Central could return this kick for a touchdown. Who knows? But that was a mistake-filled, kind of for the most part, but you overcame that and got the touchdown. So that's even more important for East Ridge.
East Ridge getting off to a good start, important for East Ridge. We go back a week ago. They gave up 4 touchdowns in the first quarter last week to Red Bank.
221 yards to 0 Red Bank had in the first quarter. That is ridiculous.
The Aspire Dermatology kickoff. Final few seconds of the first half. They'll angle the kick towards the far side, taken by M.J. Bell, and Bell gets to the 46-47 yard line, and that is where Central will start with 8 seconds left.
Probably have one shot here.
Brings up first down for the Purple Pounders.
Now you get the ball to start the second half. If you're Central, you want to take a shot, or you just want to wind this clock down and go to the locker room?
I don't know. It just depends on what coach feels confident with, but from what we've seen, you'd have to hit somebody deep or something at this point in time. A tough decision. Landon Barnell, there he is, a senior quarterback.
He'll take the snap and a knee, and that will end it. First half comes to a close and a 14-0 lead for East Ridge. Scott, the offense gets on the board late. Early, it was the play of the defense and special teams. A block punt, and Jordan Woods with the scoop and score for the touchdown.
Yeah, 2 nice plays on both touchdowns for East Ridge.
That's a 14-0 lead for the Pioneers. And look, again, for Chattanooga Central, it's back to the drawing board, trying to find some sort of consistency. Let's go to the field. Mackenzie Johnson, she's standing by with Chad Barger. This is Josh Houston and Associates Coach's Corner. Mac.
Coach, in the first half, you had a block punt, scoop and score, turned to a 2-point conversion. What kind of confidence did you have in your offense to be able to pull that 2-point play off?
Well, I mean, it actually turned into a fire. We had a bad snap, and he scrambled around and started out the wrong direction and kind of worked his way back. But we got to quit being sloppy right now. We turned the ball over a couple times. We've shot ourselves in the foot. We've been in their territory multiple times. We've got to punch the ball in. If we can get a couple scores there, and early, I think the game changes a little bit. But right now we're in a dogfight, and we just got to go regroup and see what happens.
We talked about that block punt, but also your defense hasn't really let Central breathe tonight. Talk about the boys and how they're playing on defense.
Well, I mean, our guys are relentless. We talk about being the most physical football team for 48 minutes every game. And, our guys running the ball. Like I said, we've given them a couple pops. There's a couple things. There have been some breakdowns, but we'll fix that in the second half and hopefully come out with a little different attitude.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Coach. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Mackenzie Johnson with the head coach of the East Ridge Pioneers, Chad Barger. Big Woody's Tree Service halftime report coming up. Plus, we've got a look of the first half of action. You're watching Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals presented by CHI Memorial. It is homecoming at East Ridge. Chris Goforth, Scott McMahon, Mackenzie Johnson with you. And it's our Big Woody's Tree Service halftime report. We're excited this season to have Dr. Pepper with us again as our title sponsor. Dr. Pepper committed to giving each home school $500 this season for letting us come out and broadcast these games. Mackenzie Johnson is down on the field. She'll be checking in with a special guest from Dr. Pepper coming up in just a few minutes. So, Scott, it's homecoming. A lot of pretty girls in some Jeeps tonight.
Yes. Good rides, good-looking rides, and, of course, the ladies celebrating homecoming here for our first one of the year.
I think there was a couple of years ago, we were talking about it a moment ago, where we had like
4.
Yeah, we had, I don't know, we had 4 or 5 homecomings in a row. So I think we paid our dues that year. This is our first one of the year, and they do such a nice job with it here at East Ridge. Let's get back to talking about the first half and what we saw. A little sloppy. We saw plenty of turnovers in that first half. And again, I think it shows exactly what you've got out of both of these teams through the first 4 games of the year.
Yeah, I mean, it has been a microcosm of what their seasons are like. But in this game, it's 2 huge plays. You know, the block punt, scoop and score, as you've mentioned, and then, of course, the kind of bomb right there before halftime, 30, 40 yards, whatever it was. Those 2 big plays are 2 scoring plays. The rest of it's kind of been gain 5, lose 10. I mean, back and forth on mental mistakes on both sides of the football, not just East Ridge, but Central too.
All right, let's head down to the field. Mackenzie Johnson standing by with Clayton McMasters of Dr. Pepper.
Thanks, Clayton, for being with us tonight. Talked about how important it is for Dr. Pepper to be out here to support our local communities.
Yeah, thank you. I know y'all see it on the national stage with college football, but Dr. Pepper is very involved with local communities, especially here in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
What is some of the specific missions that you guys have for these communities?
Yeah, so we start off with the host school. They get a $500 contribution for.
Of your favorite products that you would like to mention?
Well, it's hard to beat the classic, the Dr. Pepper here, but the new flavors are really good. The cream soda and the blackberry, I'd highly recommend those flavors.
Perfect. Thanks, Clayton. Back to you, Chris.
All right. Thank you very much, Mackenzie Johnson, with our friend Clayton McMasters from Dr. Pepper. Once again, he shows up, no Dr. Pepper for me. So we're going to have a little talk with Clayton this week. All right. Earlier this week, we had the chance to catch up with the Tennessee Army National Guard. Let's take a look. Tennessee Army National Guard joins us again on Friday Night Rivals, and once again joined by our friend Sergeant Cosby. Sergeant, always great when we get a chance to catch up and visit a little bit. One of the big benefits of being a member of the Tennessee Army National Guard is the opportunity to get your education taken care of. Give us some details on that.
All right, so just to let you know about the education piece that we offer as the Tennessee Army National Guard's member, number 1, Tennessee Strong. It caps out at the salary cap of UT Knox. So not going to throw a rough figure out there. Let's just say $45,000. So therefore, if you're trying to go to school in Tennessee, we got you covered. 100% tuition and fees. Federal tuition assistance, what we like to call FTA, $4,500 for the year. That's October 1 to September 30th. So you got that in your back pocket. We got Montgomery GI Bill, which is $400+ a month. That is good for you. We just don't cover college. We also do trade schools as well.
Sergeant, great to see you again. Thank you for your service.
No, thank you.
Well, it's always great to catch up with our friends at the Tennessee Army National Guard. It's time for a break. Don't you stray too far, though. Our Chattanooga Allergy Clinic Scholar Athlete of the Week, that's coming up next. All that and more right here. A Big Woody's Tree Service Halftime Report continues.
It's time now for our Scholar Athletes of the Week, sponsored by Chattanooga Allergy Clinic. And this week's honorees are Kieran Smith and Harry Strickland IV. From Chattanooga Central High School, Kieran Smith. Kieran plays 3 sports for the Purple Pounders, competing in volleyball, softball, and flag football. She's a 4-year varsity letterman and co-captain on the volleyball team. She's also a starter on the softball and flag football teams. In the classroom, Kieran carries a 3.57 GPA. She was junior class president and served in the Student Government Association and District Student Council. She's also choir president. Outside the classroom, Kieran has participated in student mission trips and competes in Awana Bible quizzing. From East Ridge High School, Harry Strickland IV. Harry competes in football, wrestling, and basketball for the Pioneers in football and a 2-year varsity letterman in wrestling. He made the Region 3 4A All-Academic team, and he also won Comeback Wrestler of the Year in 2024. In the classroom, Harry maintains a 3.8 GPA. He's in the Beta Club and also the National Honor Society. He also participates in AAD peer mentorship. Outside the classroom, Harry loves helping others. He loves to give back and helps elderly neighbors around their homes with tasks they can no longer handle. Congratulations to both Kieran Smith and Harry Strickland. Students may be eligible for a $5,000 scholarship at the end of the season. The Scholar Athlete of the Week is sponsored by Chattanooga Allergy Clinic.
It's a 14-0 lead for East Ridge as we return back to the home of the Pioneers. On homecoming, the Big Woody's Tree Service halftime report. Let's take a look at some of those first half highlights. Central with a fumble early. East Ridge would take over. They would put together an 8-play drive. They would turn it over on downs, and then Central would get the ball back, a 3-and-out, and
Strickland with a big block.
And Jordan Woods with a scoop and score for the touchdown. That would make it 6-0. And then on the ensuing extra point, this is what would happen. It's a bad snap picked up by Scruggs, and he would stroll in for the touchdown. DeMarcus Scruggs, the quarterback, waltzes in for the 2-point conversion. That makes it 8-0, and then we get late in the second quarter, just before halftime. A bobbled snap. Watch Scruggs able to escape, puts it up in the end zone, and the touchdown pass to Jamari Jones. And that made it 14-0. The extra point attempt was no good. Here's a look at some of those numbers, and look at that for Chattanooga Central. They ran it 19 times in the first half for only 10 yards. East Ridge with 80 yards rushing.
You see the frustration that just all the folks at Central, they had so much success last year. Glenn Carter and his staff this year has just not been able to get things positive. Again, 3 penalties for 30 yards, and you only have 23 total yards of offense. So you're in the negative number at that point. And then you see the losing the turnover battle, too, 2-1 to East Ridge. So just kind of banging her head against the wall if you're Central at this point in the season. Now, East Ridge, they're not mistake-free either. 4 penalties for 35 yards. But look, them running the football for 80 yards and having 3 completions for 40 yards. They had the special teams play there and the nice throw down from Scruggs, into the end zone for the touchdown for East Ridge. Makes it 14-0, and a lot of homecoming festivities. A lot of folks that are super happy around here.
Central has fumbled. They've had an interception. They had the punt block that was returned for a touchdown. And you take a look at those numbers, Scott, in a lot of ways, you're probably happy you're only down 2 scores.
Yeah, because those mistakes are just hard to overcome. Like you might even think, we keep making these and I don't know what we're going to do, right? I mean, so the more mistakes you make, the harder it is to overcome them.
We've got more Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals presented by CHI Memorial coming up next week. We'll head south on 75 as we go to Northwest Whitfield as they take on Heritage. We'll get our second look this season at the Generals. We'll have all the action on the CW Chattanooga. Starts at 7:30. You can also stream the game on ChattanoogaCW.com. And a shout-out to everybody watching tonight on YouTube.
Yes, thank you for tuning in. That one ought to be a dandy. You talk about points on the board. They may have to, replace all the light bulbs in the scoreboard by the time we're done on Friday night, a week from tonight.
We saw Heritage a couple of weeks ago against Ringgold, which has been, I think you'll agree, it's been the best game we've seen.
Yes, I agree with
far.
that, yeah. Fantastic game, last second play to try and win the game. So Northwest Whitfield can put up some numbers offensively, too, with their quarterback, Gavin Knuckles.
We got more football coming up this weekend, including some college football and also some National Football League action as well here on the CW. It's Temple and Georgia Tech tomorrow. Over on News Channel 9, you've got Arkansas and Memphis, followed by Auburn and Oklahoma.
That's the one I want, yeah.
It's a game that's getting a lot of attention. Florida and Miami in prime time and over on Fox Chattanooga. Hey, how about that? How happy you think Michigan State is to be kicking off at 11 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow night?
I noticed that start time and thought, really? I mean, I know it's on the West Coast, but still. 11 o'clock is late.
That's
you don't get back into East Lansing till Sunday morning, basically.
Yeah. Well, that game's probably not going to end until around 2 a.m. probably for the folks in Michigan. Now, more football coming up. The weekend continues. We roll into Sunday, and it's the National Football League. You got the doubleheader on Fox Chattanooga. Falcons and Panthers in an NFC South showdown at 1, followed by the Cowboys and the Bears from Soldier Field in Chicago. And then it's Detroit and Baltimore. So you've got on Monday night now on News Channel 9, you've got Jahmyr Gibbs going up against the Baltimore Ravens and Reuben Lowry, former Chattanooga Mock.
That's right.
Who was a part of that group in Baltimore.
Reuben last year for the Chattanooga Mocs.
All right. There you go. Stay tuned after the game. We've got Penn and Teller and Totally Funny Animals. That's still to come here. We've got the second half kickoff when we return. East Ridge on top, 14-0. This is Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals presented by CHI Memorial. East Ridge with a 14-0 lead. Chattanooga Central will get the ball to begin the third quarter. Mackenzie Johnson standing by with the head coach of the Purple Pounders in Glenn Carter.
You did have a few penalties in that first half. What are some adjustments that we're going to see in the second one?
We're not making any adjustments. We've got to come out and decide to play football and do our assignments and follow through with them. We're not making any changes. We've just got to execute.
You're only down 2 scores. What is the locker room talk? What are you trying to tell your boys to come out and play better?
I just told them they've got to keep fighting. I mean, we've got to keep fighting. The 2 scores we gave up was a block punt, and then we had a blown coverage at the end of the half. I mean, so we've kind of given them 2 points. I mean, 2 scores, but at the same time, I mean, that's still football, and we've just got to try to overcome the mistakes that we're making right now. Offensively, we're not really moving the ball. We're missing our assignments. And defensively, we're doing fairly well, like I said, but, 2 mistakes, and now we're down 2.
Gotcha. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
All right, Mackenzie Johnson down on the field with the head coach of the Purple Pounders in Glenn Carter. And look, he in his second year as the head coach, took over last year on an interim basis and led East Ridge Central to a very successful season last year. And he told us when we talked to him a couple of weeks ago, he goes, "Look, those guys are gone. Ranye." Yeah, you don't have Ranye Watson, who has been that difference maker for the last 4 years for Central. So a little bit of a rebuilding effort going on there and trying to determine who the next guy is going to be. And I think that's continue what they're looking for.
Got to find them too, because again, we're heading towards mid-season, and Central in the new region that they're in. They can compete, but you got to find somebody to be a leader.
Every game they have played so far has been against teams from larger classifications, and that was including tonight. East Ridge is a step up in classification for them, and that's something Coach Carter talked about. He said, "Look, I'll be glad when we can get to region play." Now, it's only a 4-team region, so if you're Central, you're going to make the playoffs. Chattanooga Prep, Tyner, and Brainerd are the other 3 teams, and it's just about a fight for seeding at that point. And honestly, none of what has happened these first couple of weeks of the season really matter compared to what region play is going to mean.
And I would say that, Brainerd gave East Ridge all that they wanted earlier in the year in a 1-point win by East Ridge. So Central versus Brainerd is not going to be a give-me by any means, but you got to get in there and at least win one. I know coaches don't like to go into the playoffs, even though they're going to get an automatic bid, all 4 teams, but you don't want to go in as the 4th seed 0-10.
No, you don't. Kick is angled, short.
Aspire dermatology kickoff.
And it's brought out across the 45-yard line, so a nice return for Chattanooga Central to begin things. Purple Pounders take over in good field position. They'll start at the 45-yard line on their own end of the field as they look to get a little bit of offensive momentum going tonight. Central with a fumble on their first possession. Their second possession was a block punt that resulted in a scoop and score. Since that time, they've gone punt, interception, and they turned it over on downs before taking a knee to end the first half.
So who's going to step up in the second half and be a leader and help guide this team offensively to some points?
2 H-backs. And here's Varnell in trouble, able to get away from one, cannot escape the next one. East Ridge with pressure. It was Mark Sessions coming off that end.
Sessions right, defensive end, super quick, had 4 sacks coming in here. You'll see him make contact. Sessions, number 20. Bang. And
Varnell is hurt. Wow. And another tough break for Central as Varnell.
That is not good at all.
Will walk off. It's good to see him walking off the field, but he is done for at least a play. Now for Chattanooga Central, just to recap what we have already talked about, we saw him lose Nakaris Cheaton early in the game back in week 1 against Signal Mountain, and you go back to the preseason, they lost Tevin Jackson. He was hurt in a preseason scrimmage. Both of those guys out for the year for Central. Now you're down your quarterback. And so Central will keep it on the ground as they turn things over to Carter Smith.
The freshman that we've been talking about, who's been making some plays, and he might be the quarterback of the future, but certainly. All right, so he runs to the sideline to get the play. He's going to stay in at quarterback, and they'll evaluate Landon Varnell.
Varnell is pacing back and forth over on the far sideline.
3rd and 18 here.
Big play for the freshman Smith on a 3rd down. Jenkins goes in motion. Here's Elvey to the left side, and Daniel Elvey finding it hard to run against the right side of that defense.
Jordan Wood stops him. Harley Strickland was in on it. I think at this point in time, the biggest issue is, getting some blocks up front to be able to spring somebody like Elvey, because he's the guy that you're going to have to lean on if you want to get any kind of a running game going or any kind of points on the board at this point.
Back for the Pioneers is King Knox.
King Knox back to return this kick. Just over 2 minutes gone in the 3rd quarter. Central now down their starting quarterback as Landon Varnell is exited with an injury, and on a 4th down, 4th and long, Pounders will be forced to punt it away. And this was a drive that started with promise. They took over at the 46. A high kick. Takes a nice Pounder roll inside the 30-yard line. Looks like it'll be downed at the 28. And that's where Eastridge will take over. 1st and 10. They start at their own 28-yard line. Eastridge with a 2-score lead. They did it by virtue of a touchdown pass just before the end of the half. And then you go back to the 1st quarter. They had a block punt that was scooped up and taken back for the score. Eastridge did turn it over once in the 1st half. They fumbled.
There's a good shot of DeMarcus Scruggs. 2nd-year starter for the Pioneers, 6 foot, 160 pounds. And it's not like they've established great offensive rhythm, too. They would like to see a long, sustaining drive with putting points on the board at this point, and probably most importantly, with a 14-0 lead, chew some clock up here in the 3rd quarter.
On a misdirection, they go on the ground. King Knox gets positive yardage on 1st down. Let's head down to the field. Mackenzie Johnson, she's got an update on some injuries.
Yeah, we saw number 3 go out, Varnell. It seemed that he is more banged up than anything. He's over here with the trainer trying to stretch it out. But it looks like he's more frustrated than he is hurt that he had to come out. And no word yet if he's going back in.
All right, we'll keep an eye out. There's a look at Landon Varnell. Went down hard.
Looks like maybe a hip or some sort of hip issue. You can see him put his hand on it right there.
The give again, Knox. And Knox is wrapped up. Tank Stewart made the stop and lost his helmet in the process, so he'll have to come out for a play.
That was actually Jamari Jones. Sorry, Chris, but they kind of look like, as far as their style of carrying the football. There's Jones, number 12. Picks up a yard or so, as you mentioned, 3rd and a long 3 at this point for the Eastridge Pioneers.
And we have seen less out of the pistol formation and more under center stuff.
Like old school wing tee.
Yeah, of late. Here comes the handoff again, and that is Knox King, and he'll get the 1st down.
Knox King stopped by Carter Smith, the 9th grader. Carter Smith is going to be a guy in the future for Central that's going to be doing a lot of things, because he can do a lot of things already as a 9th grader.
Up to the 42-yard line in the 1st down.
There's King Knox's stats. 10 carries, 55 yards.
It's a pretty good little clip.
It's right at his average, too.
Here he comes again. And he finds some room to the outside. We got a foot race. And he's out of bounds.
He showed his speed, couldn't run away from the defense by any means, but certainly, well, there might be a penalty marker that brings it all back. But that's that wing team misdirection. It looks like almost a toss sweep to the opposite side, and then they give an inside handoff to King Knox. Maybe all for naught. Mr. Referee Jay Blevins will let us know.
It definitely looks like it's going to go against East Ridge, and we'll be coming back. And so, look, again, I think as we have talked about, what we have seen from both of these teams tonight, really a snapshot of the way the season has gone. You see the big explosive play, but negated by the penalty.
Sportsmanlike conduct, defense, number 59. Number 59 has been disqualified from the contest.
So we had an ejection now from Landon Smith, freshman defensive lineman.
Man, did not see that one coming, so tack on more yards for East Ridge after that great run by King Knox.
Well, and I thought by the reaction of everybody and the way the East Ridge offense came back, everybody kind of thought that was going to go against the Pioneers. Instead, it moves them inside the Dr. Pepper maroon zone.
Yeah, there was actually an offensive lineman for East Ridge that was laying on his back like he was frustrated and thought the call was on him.
Scruggs drops the snap, hands off. King Knox again, and Knox gets cut down. And he will take it inside the 10, gets to about the 9.
Correction 6, second and 4.
East Ridge threatening again, back inside the Dr. Pepper maroon zone, up by 2 scores. 7 minutes remaining in this third quarter, and we've got a timeout that's asked for by Chattanooga Central. So 14-0. East Ridge with a lead, and Scott, if you can go up now 3 scores, suddenly the way your defense is playing and a banged-up team against Chattanooga Central, you start to think, okay, you start to feel much better about where you are. 14-0, that's our score. We'll return to East Ridge after this. Stay tuned. Later on in tonight's game, we'll be highlighting the school bus stop of the game. The law in every state requires drivers to always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. We have got some candidates tonight, too.
Yes, we do. Looking forward to that.
We'll get to it later. East Ridge right now in business inside the Dr. Pepper maroon zone. Ball is on about the 9-yard line. 2nd down and 6. They can pick up the first down. They can get a 1st and goal situation inside the 5. So Central is not charged a timeout. So the Purple Pounders have their full complement of timeouts again. Scruggs comes up under center. Here's the give, and King Knox is wrapped up in the backfield.
Guess who? Carter Smith. This guy's all over the field.
3rd and 7.
If he could find 2 or 3 guys to help him out there. Central would be in a whole lot better position, but what a bright future for Carter Smith.
That's his 5th stop in this game.
And really for no gain, so 3rd and 6 now.
Yeah, 3rd and 6 from the 12.
As you mentioned, they can get a first down inside the 5, essentially.
Sweeping to the far side, it's Jones. And Jones will get in for the score.
Jamari Jones with a nice run on the right side for the Food City touchdown. The junior running back. I like that tandem of King Knox and Jamari Jones. Moving forward into region play, that ought to be 2 guys that they can rely on heavily. You see, he's got great speed. Elusive enough to get in the end zone before he's tackled and puts up 6 points for the Pioneers.
That feels like the first time tonight Eastridge has been able to get outside, get on the corner, and cut it up. They've tried a lot.
Right, but it didn't come back with a penalty either, so that's huge.
Extra point attempt is on the way. This kick is up, and it is good. So that makes it 21-0. Eastridge with a lead on homecoming against Chattanooga Central. That'll bring the Pounder fans to life. Jones go wide and get in just inside the pylon for the touchdown. Well, on the last series for Chattanooga Central, we saw their quarterback in Landon Varnell get a little dinged up, had to leave the game. We'll see if we see him back. We've talked about it already for Central, how 2 of their key playmakers they were counting on coming into this season have gone down due to injury.
And it's crushed them, to be quite honest.
You go back.
And then you lose your quarterback. Let's see if he's back, like you mentioned, Landon Varnell, but he's somebody that's got to be out there if you want to see success.
The Aspire Dermatology kickoff. And you go back a week ago in that 49-0 loss to Walker Valley, they had 8 starters out last week.
Can you imagine 8 starters out against Walker Valley?
It's tough.
Oh, my.
It's tough. And, we've talked about kind of the similarities in terms of what each of these teams want to do. I think the one other similarity both of these coaches shared this week is depth. They both talked about, we need depth. And even where they talked about, hey, we got bodies at this position, but it's guys that haven't played or haven't played a lot.
And it's hard when you're a public school coach because you're basically playing the hand that you're dealt. And whether they're good or not, or whether there's a bunch of them or not, that's something you can try to grow as far as recruiting the hallways and things like that. But it's not going to be something that, you can add 8, 10, 12, 20 guys, within one off season.
So it's Carter Smith in at quarterback. Varnell still out. Snap a little off the mark. Here's the give. Daniel Elvey, and Elvey.
That's a nice run.
Yeah, Elvey at 6 feet, 2.5, 210 pounds, leaning forward to the 50-yard line.
They need more of Daniel Elvey at this point for Central.
Actually, give him the 49. He brought it into Eastridge territory.
And what I think, too, is important is when they're kicking off these pooch kicks, Eastridge is, and giving Central great field position, you got to take advantage of that. Finally, Elvey has some room to run. It punishes some of the defenders on the way. But now, don't do anything crazy to shoot yourself in the foot after you made that nice 8-yard run. 7, 8 yards, whatever it was.
2nd and 7. Here's the toss out, and he's blasted. Shooting into the backfield and coming up with the stop. That was Eli Gooden.
Eli Gooden once again. Man, that was just shot out of a cannon, Gooden was.
Second big.
Look at him come right at the ball carrier. Nice form tackle and got him on the ground immediately.
Second big hit of the night for Gooden.
But after a gain of 7, then you lose.
Yeah, that's exactly what you talked about.
Yeah, you lose 5. So you're like back and forth, back and forth. If you could put 4 plays positive that you get positive yardage together, there's no telling what would happen.
Carter Smith at quarterback in the place of the injured Landon Varnell. 3rd down and long. Smith has time. He's going to load it up, take a shot downfield, and this is picked off. Intercepted by Bentley Moore, and Moore has got some room to run. He gets across midfield, and he is out of bounds.
Bentley Moore showed incredible athleticism by not going down. I mean, he got the defender kind of twisting him up a little bit, but he never put a knee down on the ground. Freshman Bentley Moore with an interception. And again, Coach told us a very special future for number 14 for East Ridge, Bentley Moore.
That's
second
his
pick of the night.
Yeah, that's his 2nd interception of this game.
Started wobbling at the end, and Moore had it really from the beginning. Joel Crawford, the intended receiver for Central, but Bentley Moore had him bottled up, and really Crawford had no chance to make the catch.
Brings the ball across midfield. East Ridge will start this drive at their own 49-yard line. And Moore looks like dealing with a little bit of a cramp. 4 minutes gone in this 3rd quarter.
You may have got that on the sideline celebration. Yeah. They were all over him. Everybody wanted a piece of Moore.
King Knox.
Uh-oh.
They're going to mark him down.
Jordan Woods for East Ridge is the one who recovered the fumble, but Knox, again, running fairly well. You just got to keep a hold of that football. Misdirection on the wing tee. You see it almost slide out of his hip there. Boom, once he gets nailed by M.J. Bell, Jordan Woods comes up and jumps on the football to keep it in the East Ridge possession.
Gain of 4. Clock under the 4-minute mark of this 3rd quarter. It's Jones sweeping to the right. Makes the turn. Jones gets the 1st down and out of bounds over on the far sideline. Well, we talked earlier about what was coming up for East Ridge. Big one next week against Loudon. For Central next week. How about this stretch? Howard, Hickson, Brainerd. The next 3 weeks.
Yeah. It's going to be a pretty strong stretch, and I would imagine kind of determines their fate as far as potential postseason.
Well, certainly the game against Brainerd does, because you've got Brainerd and then you've got the bye, and you go Chattanooga Prep and Tyner to end the season. Those are the other 3 teams in there.
Really need to find a way to get a win against Brainerd.
Yeah, you do. The Brainerd game looms large, and I think next week against Howard as well, just to find a little bit of momentum for this team.
All right, you'll see some guys losing their cool here. After the play was over, it looked like M.J. Bell shoved a East Ridge player, and then those flags came flying out from pretty much all the referees on the field at that point. They're going to try and nip this in the bud. They're going to try and keep this one of those games that just does not get chippy by calling this early. Now, not to say that it wasn't a penalty.
After the play, personal foul, number 23 on the defense. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
And that's nothing but frustration. I mean, you see it all the time, and that's why coaches will say you gotta hold your water. You gotta keep yourself calm in these situations, because now you just added more yardage onto what East Ridge has been able to do in this drive.
Pioneers putting a drive together. They have it at the Purple Pounder 23-yard line. Scruggs under center. Here's King Knox again. Well, check that. That was Jamari Jones.
I'm telling you, they have the same running style. They have the same hair flow out of the back of the helmet. It's hard to tell them apart. And 12 and 24, so one's half the number that the other.
Yeah.
I'm making all kinds of excuses for myself. So
keep it up. Keep it up. I'm not stopping you. I'm not stopping you. Under 3 minutes remaining in this 3rd quarter.
But not a bad 1-2 punch. Like I said earlier, man, I really like both those guys. Both of them in that junior class for East Ridge, too, and Knox and Jones.
Hold on to the football, eliminate the penalties, and you may have something offensively. Scruggs trying to make sure everybody knows where to line up. And here comes Jones again, finds a little hole, and it closes quickly. And a nice job by Tank Stewart making the stop. Stewart, a returning starter on this defense for Central.
Aiden Austin, I think, 58 right there with the forearm shiver, if you will. Legal play, but still trying to show some physicality out of that Central defense. Dr. Pepper maroon zone.
16-yard line, faced with a third down. And here's Scruggs. He'll keep it for the first down and more. Scruggs. He doesn't run it much, but Scott, when he's chosen to keep it tonight, he's been effective. Gets to the 3. That brings up a CHI Memorial first down and goal.
You mentioned Scruggs doesn't run it much. They got to keep him healthy for the endurance of the season. But when he does, he's got some elusiveness. Takes some shots from the defensive players, but makes it all the way down to the 3.
And Eastridge in no hurry to snap the football. This clock rolling, approaching 1 minute remaining. We're in the third quarter. Pioneers with a first quarter touchdown, a second quarter touchdown, now trying to add their second of this third. And here is King Knox fighting for the goal line. King Knox with a touchdown.
Food City touchdown for King Knox. Again, number 1 in that 1-2 punch from the Pioneers backfield. See him run through the defensive tackle and keep on running until it finds the end zone. Got a nose for putting the football in the end zone, putting points on the board for the Pioneers.
Chad Barger talked to McKenzie about the need for execution in the second half. His guys have had the ball twice in the second half. They have scored both times. 28-0. Eastridge with a lead over Central. Will return on homecoming for the Pioneers on Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals, presented by CHI Memorial. We'll be back next Friday when we head to Northwest Whitfield as they host Heritage. We'll have all of the action here on the CW Chattanooga starting at 7:30. You can also stream the game on ChattanoogaCW.com and on YouTube as well. Looking forward to that one next week from Northwest Whitfield.
Okay. That's going to be a fun one, man. I'm telling you, we might be there all night because they throw it around so much, but it's still going to be a fun one to watch. And Northwest Whitfield just got new turf this season, so they're excited about that down in Tunnel Hill. And anytime you lock horns with the Generals and the Bruins, it's going to be fun.
It's going to be the first time in, 2 years, maybe 3, since we've been to Northwest Whitfield?
No, remember it was the opening game last year.
Oh, okay.
Dalton. Remember they'd beaten Dalton for the first time?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot about that. Short kick again, pooched up into the air, taken by one of the up men. He gets to about the 42, 43-yard line.
But if you remember, I don't know, maybe it was 2019, maybe even 2020, the last second catch and turn up the sideline, that's the one.
That's the game that I was thinking about.
Incredible ending Heritage, even though they've only been a school for probably 15 years or so, they have really had a great history of phenomenal games with Northwest Whitfield. That has quickly become a tremendous rivalry in North Georgia.
Look forward to that one. Varnell back in at quarterback now after leaving with an injury, and the run play again, nowhere to go for this Central offense as Elvey was wrapped up immediately.
Good to see Varnell back in it, though.
Yeah, and
probably frustration is a part of it as much as getting banged up with that hip and being on the sidelines for a couple minutes.
His head coach, Glenn Carter, talked about the play of his quarterback. He's also the catcher and the shortstop for the Central baseball team. And we'll get the third quarter coming to a close. 28-0 East Ridge on top of Central. The fourth quarter when we return. Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals presented by CHI Memorial.
Thank you for your respect.
Lots to cheer about for East Ridge on homecoming. They lead Chattanooga Central 28-0. Central with the ball, faced with a second down and 10 at their own 43. Varnell is stuffed. He'll go for a loss of 3 back at the 40-yard line.
Jamari Jones on the tackle there. Landon Varnell trying to do some things, but man, he's got defenders all in his face. Has all night long, but Jamari Jones showing you that he's not just runs the football well, also comes nicely after the quarterback at his outside linebacker position.
Chris Goforth alongside Scott McMahon, Mackenzie Johnson on Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals, presented by CHI Memorial from East Ridge. Always fun when we get a chance to come over here. Always a good time being here for homecoming. This third down will get the fans to their feet below. They stomp their feet. Varnell rolls, has a man. It's Myree, and Myree wrapped up after a short gain to about the 42. So it's now fourth down.
Bloodsaw with a tackle there, number 8. You see him 5'10", 205, just the center of that defense, the heart. Middle linebacker, and looks the part. Made a nice play there to get the Tyree, the ball carrier, or receiver down on the ground. 4th and 11. At this point, I mean, you got to go for it.
East Ridge had the ball twice in the third quarter. They scored on both possessions. So Chattanooga Central looking to keep a drive alive.
The question is, will Landon Barnell have any time to try and make a play on 4th and 11? Because they're pinning their ears back.
Barnell escapes from one, needs a block, in trouble, caught from behind, and down he goes at the 44-yard line.
Chubb Young on the tackle eventually. I'm going to say that every Eastridge player got at least a hand on Landon Barnell on that play. He couldn't get away. They were all coming at him in waves.
Central has punted twice tonight. Every other possession has ended in a turnover, a block punt, or they've turned it over on downs.
Wow,
yeah.
Man. Jeez. Frustration reigned for the Purple Pounders. And, of course, if East Ridge can put this in the end zone and kick the extra point, then we get mercy rule time, and it'll be officially over for Central at that point.
King Knox gets to the 35-yard line. Just shy maybe of the first down. It's really going to depend on the spot. Looks like he got call it a first down. Move those sticks.
You see why that's so hard to defend, all that misdirection and who's going to get it. And sometimes in the wing tee, the smaller you are, the better, more advantage you have, because the defense can't see you with all that ball faking that the quarterback does. CHI Memorial first down, though, for the Pioneers.
And here goes Knox to the outside, inside the 30, and he's feeling it now. He gets to the 26-yard line.
Quickness.
One of the things about that offense, too, and I remember having this conversation with Robert Akins when he was coaching at Ringgold, and he went back to kind of the early in his days there, went back to running the kind of the old school wing tee, and he made the comment about it. Look, I don't have to have huge linemen. It's all about leverage and angles
and quickness.
And he said, if I can just coach those guys to get that angle, he goes, that's all I need. He goes, they don't have to hold blocks long.
Not like pass protection or whatever.
Right.
You just got to get the initial block at the right angle and get the heck out of the way.
Pickup of 8. And it's King Knox again.
Man, he's quick.
And the King slides inside the 20 in the Dr. Pepper maroon zone.
King Knox.
126 yards rushing tonight and a score for King Knox on his 20th carry of the game.
So he's been the workhorse, like we mentioned earlier, that he would be. 4th leading rusher in Chattanooga as of this week. He didn't do anything to hurt that status tonight.
Got an official's timeout. Looks like there was maybe a piece of equipment, a back plate or something that had come loose. Nowhere to go.
Nope, they had King Knox bottled up on that one. Maybe even a loss of 1. They were shed some blocks and got the heck in the backfield there. Aiden Austin, 10th grader, 58. Was one of the guys with full penetration in that backfield.
Feels like Central's played a lot of guys defensively tonight.
Played a lot of young guys, too.
Yeah.
Payoff down the road, but obviously tonight you just can't get things going.
Jones tries to cut back inside, wrapped up by Daniel Elvey. Dropped out on the edge.
Jamar Jones with the carry. Brings up 3rd down.
Well, you get another score here and the extra point. We go into mercy rule, right, at 35?
That's correct.
So we would get a running clock at that point.
You'd be salted away here if you're East Ridge, but 3rd and at least 15, 14, 15.
They are back out of the Dr. Pepper maroon zone now. Ball back at the, looks like about the 23, 24-yard line. We'll call it 3rd and 16. Clock rolls under 7 minutes to play. And Scruggs back into the pistol. Here he is. Throws up high, and it's incomplete. He's aiming for his tight end in Jordan Woods.
Yeah, Woods paid the price, man. Went up high on that ball thrown and then just took shots into the – there's a penalty marker down too, so maybe that was – I don't even know what they're going to call that. It was a very physical tackle. I didn't think I saw a spearing or anything or a – leading with the helmet type of thing, but we'll let the referees sort it out. They're down there and they're all over it. Targeting, maybe?
Personal foul, illegal hit on a defenseless player. Defense, half the distance to the goal. First down.
Illegal hit on a defenseless player.
You see Jordan Woods kind of shaking it off, walking off the field. So you put 15 on that, and it's 3rd and 1. Is that what we're thinking here?
Well, the ball is.
He said it wasn't an automatic first down.
Ball has been moved inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. So this should end up being 3rd down and 6.
That's a 10-yard penalty.
Yeah. Look at the East Ridge crowd tonight that has shown up for homecoming. Impressed with what their Pioneers have been able to do, especially in this second half. Well, we'd seen Scruggs work mostly from under center. Now he's back into that pistol, and here goes King Knox to the outside. And the King will work inside the 5. That's enough for the first down.
Nice run by King Knox. And nice blocking up front to get the CHI Memorial first down. See big Cornelius Bruce and Sheldon Young. We talked about him earlier. Also Tyler Madden, the center we talked about. Ethan Perkins, the big left tackle, 6 foot, 265 pounds.
You know, the pass play that Woods was shaken up on, I do want to point out, Scott, that is the only pass attempt for East Ridge in this second half.
Man.
They have done it all on the ground. Here he comes again. King Knox in for the touchdown. The Food City touchdown is 2nd of the game, and King Knox makes it 34-0 midway through the 4th quarter.
Again, all those guys up front for East Ridge, credit them. Perkins, Young, Madden, Bruce, also John Bailey, the right tackle, sophomore, number 55. Those guys played really good on that drive, being able to spring the King into the end zone.
The extra point attempt is up, and it is good. Mercy rule in effect over the last 6-12. 35-0. East Ridge on top of Central. This was a 14-0 game at the half. Pioneers have had the ball 3 times in the second half, and they've put touchdowns on the board. Back to East Ridge after this. Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals presented by CHI Memorial. All right.
Hey. Yes, sir.
That works.
Chat Prep up 12-0.
This is the school bus stop of the game. Always remember to stop when the school bus arm is out.
Let's take a look at tonight's school bus stop of the game. Always stop for a school bus when the stop arm is out and the red lights are flashing. Not stopping or trying to beat the stop arm puts lives at risk and can result in a large fine, points on your license, and even a license suspension. Our school bus stop of the game. Big hit by Eli Gooden. Watch him come off the edge and wrap up Daniel Elvey. Boom.
That's a stop. Eli Gooden. Have a nice tackle there, young man.
Central tries the flea flicker. The lateral on the kick return and did not go well.
First down, Purple Pounders.
So Central takes over, first down and 10. They'll start at their own 33-yard line, and we've got a running clock mercy rule in effect here on homecoming. Get a load of this. Uh-oh. It's been that kind of night for Chattanooga Central.
Yes, it has.
Homecoming for the Pioneers. Crowned a new queen at halftime.
You know, one of the cool things about this series with Eastridge and Central, like I said, started in 1959. This will be the 54th meeting now. After this Eastridge win, they're going to be 32-22 against Central. And it took 11 years for Eastridge to beat Central. In 1970, they got it done. What do you think correlated with that? A guy named E.B. Red Edder was at Central from 59 to before he went on to Baylor, and my goodness, they had it going.
Yes, they did.
Chattanooga Central back then, you know, some of the great athletes. You have to start with Bobby Hoppe, who was an important running back on that 58 Auburn team that was national champs, and then throw in a guy like Damon Duval, who was a kicker punter at Auburn. He played in the early 2000s. McClendon Curtis, who we all know, played at Central and for the Mocs and has been on, you know, a number of NFL teams, Raiders and Seahawks and Cardinals. And just a long line of, you know, just great players and great athletes who have come from really both of these schools, but certainly Central. And then, of course, we want to make – I wanted to make sure we took a couple seconds to say what a incredible player Rodney Ballard was in the early 80s. I know he had some health problems, and he passed away earlier this summer. So I wanted to mention while we're here at East Ridge, if you've never heard of Rodney Ballard and the things that he was able to do in high school football, that guy was special. And he tore up this turf left and right back in the day playing for Coach Raymond James and East Ridge in the early 80s. So Ballard was certainly a guy that could get it done.
Varnell on the rollout. Looks like he'll keep it, and he'll get out of bounds after he picks up a couple of yards. Speaking of guys that had some success on this turf tonight, there's a guy down on the Eastridge sideline that was a pretty good player for the Pioneers, and JoJo Tillery.
Yeah, you may have seen JoJo on the sidelines there with his hat and his ponytail, but he's been playing in the USFL and, you know, those spring leagues that they've got. I can't keep up with the alphabet soup part of it, but you know what I'm saying.
He's the reason why I turn those games on in the summer.
Me too. That's the only person I look for.
I turn it on. I turn it on to see Jacob Sailors from Marion County.
Yeah, there you go. So
and JoJo Tillery. That's my two guys.
Yep.
That's my two guys.
That's the way I am too. But he's played for 3 or 4 years. JoJo Tillery has, former Wofford All Southern Conference safety for the Terriers.
Just a really good athlete and a really good guy, very committed, and has been, even when he was at Wofford, about trying to come back and help at East Ridge. He's down on the sidelines with a headset, standing next to his head coach and Chad Barger. JoJo's a good one.
He sure is, trying to give back to the kids and in his own special way. You know, here's a guy that says, hey, look, I played at East Ridge, and you can make it not necessarily to the NFL yet, but you can make it to those pro leagues and play some in the spring leagues if you just put the work in and grow as your career goes, and that's what JoJo Tillery has certainly done.
Nice throw by Varnell, caught by
that was nice.
Joel Crawford over on the far side. I'll tell you something else about JoJo now. He's all business on that sideline, too. I mean, don't think for a minute that he comes in and I'm
the celebrity and all that stuff. You're right.
Yeah, no. That guy, he is coaching hard the whole time he's down there. So there is no he's not here for the showmanship part of it. He's here to work. But I think the kids, as you've mentioned, Scott, they just have a ton of respect for him and who he is and what he has done, certainly. Here's the screen from Irie, and it's thrown over his head.
Incomplete pass, second and 10.
One of those building block games maybe for East Ridge.
I believe that's pretty accurate. Not that they were, mistake-free by any means, but you just kind of take what you get and then grow on it. I mean, that punt block to start the scoring barrage was strong.
I would look at the second half. You've had the football 3 times now, and all 3 times your drives have ended in points. You had 2 7-play drives and then an 8-play drive.
Yeah.
And you've been able to come away with points. That's just huge for those guys. There's LV. He gets to the 45-yard line.
You need more of that going into region play and down the road. Just those, a fluke play where you hit a bomb on one play, that's great. That's great. But sustained drives of 6, 7, 8 plays is what you need to keep the ball out of the other team's hands, but also be able to sustain that drive and put some points on the board and feel confident about what you got going on offensively.
They only start 3 seniors, by the way, on the defensive side of the ball. So, we've talked about the young guys that have played on both sides tonight. For East Ridge, there's just 3 seniors out there defensively. And
Sessions, he had 4 sacks coming into the game, so that's definitely his 5th. And
that's a sophomore.
One of the, to your point, one of the statistic-wise, when it comes to sacks, one of the better performers in our Chattanooga area.
Conduct number 55 on the offense. 15-yard penalty brings up 4th down.
Brings up a 4th down, so tough night. Tough night for Chattanooga Central. Markoff will take it back inside the 20, back to the 19. Central set to drop to 0-5, and they'll get ready to host Howard next week. Final few seconds of the game. And for East Ridge, Pioneers, they're going to be 4-1 after this game, and they will host Loudon next week. This may be it. Throwing over the middle, pass caught by Myrie, and he's dropped at the 30-yard line, and that is how the game ends. East Ridge, a 35-0 victory over Chattanooga Central. Pioneers go to 4-1 on the season, while Chattanooga Central drops to 0-5. Stay with us. We've got more. We'll have our championship belt presentation coming up, as well as our player of the game. Stay with us. All that and more when we return. Back to East Ridge. Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals presented by CHI Memorial. Back at East Ridge, where the Pioneers score the 35-0 win over Central tonight. Mackenzie Johnson on the field on homecoming for East Ridge as the Pioneers get the win. She's with head coach Chad Barger and the Pioneers.
Coach, tonight you had 5 unanswered touchdowns from your offense. Talk a little bit about how proud you are of those boys tonight.
Well, like we talked about at halftime, we played a little sloppy, but we had a little discussion at halftime, came out. Our kids picked it up, man. They're resilient. They play hard. We got to love how physical we played. We talked about finishing the game being very physical and always being the most physical team on the field. We're always proud of our kids.
We can't talk about offense without talking about the defense. They had a shutout night. Congratulations.
Defensively, coaches do a great job. Coach Chambliss and those guys over on that side of the ball do a great job. They play hard. They play fast. They get after it. They're like we said, we're physical, and we preach it all the time. We tell our kids that we've got to be the most physical team on both sides of the football, and that when we're going to be okay. And, like I said, we can't be more proud of our young men.
And what a great night. It is homecoming for you guys. Talk a little bit about what it means to get a win tonight.
Homecoming is always great. I tell them a lot of times it's sometimes the other stuff, the outside noise is for the non-participants. But at the end of the day, we can go celebrate our game tonight.
And one last thing I have for you and the boys. Go ahead. One of you guys want to open it up?
Take it out. You can take it out.
Thank you very much, Mackenzie.
Awesome. Never disappoints.
No, never does. Never does. That's always so much fun. Coach Barger and his guys, congratulations to the Pioneers on the win. How about our Dr. Pepper player of the game? Who else?
The King.
King Knox. 24 carries tonight, Scott, 149 yards, 2 touchdowns. And look, when Eastridge needed it, they got him lathered up, especially in the second half, and turned him loose.
Yeah, I mean, he was just a workhorse tonight. And kudos to their offensive line, too, for, getting some holes in there and letting King Knox feed, because when he feeds like that, man, he is impressive. Once again, one of the leading rushers in the city of Chattanooga.
All right, let's get a look at our scoring summary. That's presented by Scott's Furniture. Coach Barger, he may head over to Scott's Furniture, get him a nice curio cabinet and a place to
put the belt on.
You got to display that belt, Coach.
Right, exactly.
35-0. There you see the way it went down as Eastridge with a touchdown in the first quarter and the second quarter, and then really took control in that third. They scored on every possession in the second half.
I thought the adjustments they made at halftime clearly shows that it was successful. But like you mentioned, just taking the possession and doing as much as you could with each possession and really each play. It seemed like they slowed down and started focusing better in that second half.
McKenzie talked about the play of the Central defense with Coach, and look at that, -5 yards rushing for Central.
Man, that is tough to take. So 35 yards and you got 84 yards in penalties. That's not going to be able to get it done. But on the flip side, 207 yards rushing with King Knox and his crew in that running back room. They did a nice job tonight and got a big win.
All right. What do you want to do next Friday night?
I want to go to Tunnel Hill.
Let's go. All right. We'll have Northwest Whitfield and Heritage for you next week on Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals, presented by CHI Memorial.
7:30.
Note that. That's right.
Yep.
Note that start time, 7:30 here on the CW. If you can't join us in person, you can watch it on the CW. You can also watch it on ChattanoogaCW.com and also on the News Channel 9 YouTube channel.
Sweet. So
no
excuse if you don't join us next Friday.
All right, that's going to do it for us. Again, heck of a night. Scott, some final thoughts as we get out of here on homecoming.
Great effort by the Pioneers in their homecoming just to get it done. Like we said, a little shaky at first, but boy, once they got focused in that second half, they knocked Central out.
Special thanks to our sponsors who make it all possible, and also thanks to our crew tonight for a job well done. Your final score for the final time, Eastridge a winner, 35-0. Dr. Pepper Friday Night Rivals presented by CHI Memorial.